The other one that's important, I wrote a piece of legislation dealing with insurance companies. What happens is you have your uninsured or underinsured, all right? And you have something that you can purchase, which is supplemental insurance.
Yeah.
So just, let's throw out numbers here. If you have $1 million policy against personal injury on your car insurance, you think that everybody in your car is covered for $1 million. That's not true. Some of the insurance companies are waiving your supplemental insurance without telling you. Okay, so now all of a sudden you have your child in a car and you get in a horrific car accident and that child is really hurt and you need the money now to take care of that child, and you go now to your lawyer's office and what you find out is he or she is only insured for $30,000 because you did not purchase the supplemental insurance and the insurance companies waived it for you. So I put in legislation that said the insurance companies can, and you know how much, by the way, you know how much that costs you a year, the supplemental insurance? $60 a year.
They don't tell you about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I put in a bill that's saying that the insurance companies cannot waive this. The only ones that can waive this are the persons that's buying the insurance.
Okay.
After full disclosure of what they are waiving, and they have to sign the waiver, and after telling them how much it would cost them a year. Now, who would waive that? That'd be crazy. So what happened with that bill is I wrote the bill, and I think this is the first time in Albany you actually have the trial lawyers lobby and the independent insurance companies lobby yelling that they wanted this bill put forward. And the other side of the aisle wanted to kill it because there was my name on it. They actually walked up to me, the other side of the aisle, and say, listen, will you hand us the bill? Can we put our name on it so we can get this through? And I looked at it and said, I don't care, here, do it. And I gave it to them. So that's one bill that went through this year. There's a bunch of others. I have one for a nurse repayment program. We have a problem in nursing homes that nobody's looking at. Okay, you have one nurse in the whole building for a 4 to 12. They can't attract them because the nursing homes can't pay as much as a hospital.
Yeah.
So, but nurses upstate New York, if they're upstate New York, they can actually put in for a loan repayment program to attract nurses there. So I put in a bill to include nursing homes in that, to make nursing homes more competitive, to take care of our seniors. And that one I handed off to somebody else. Look, I don't mind handing off bills. I could care less. I just want to get good legislation. But the other side of this too is stopping really bad legislation. And it's a lot of bad legislation. I love it.
But that's what I find. I mean, lawmakers think they're supposed to make a law every day. I so much more prefer paring down and cutting of laws and regulations and fees and fines and taxes.
Right, we did that with the MTA tax. We
Yeah,
removed it for 80% of the people, but we have more to go. But let me give you an example of one of the things that came up just before we went out of session. They had in, what was it called? And senior, or it wasn't senior. It was basically early parole, okay? It was called geriatric early parole.
Okay.
And their term for geriatric was 60.
How insulting.
That's what I said. I find that insulting. But number two, and if you did half your sentence and you were 60 or over, they'd have to release you. And I looked at the bill.
So I've got to do all my felonies when I'm 61?
No, but get this, there were only 2 exemptions. And the 2 exemptions were any sex crimes. And the other one was first-degree murder. And I looked at it and I go, first degree murder is a cop in the performance of his duty, a correction officer is in the performance of their duty, a judge, or a contract killer. Most are second degree murder. But it was only first degree murder. So I looked at it and said, let's take a look at who you want to let out. Okay? Under your bill, we would have to release David Berkowitz. Second degree murder, the son of Sam.
Son of Sam.
I go, under your bill, we'd have to let out Mark David Chapman, who killed John Lennon. Under your bill, we'd have to let Colin Ferguson out in 3 years. Under your bill, we would have to let out Ronnie DeFeo from the Amityville Horror that killed his entire family, including his 2 siblings, 12 and 13. And I go, and all I can say is, thank God Charlie Manson isn't incarcerated in New York because you let him out too. And they looked at me and they go, well, And one person said, I don't want to let any of these people out. I go, stop writing stupid legislation. The other, and some of it can be comical. They actually put out a piece of legislation where 12 and under cannot ride in the front seat of the car. Okay? And I go, but there is an exception to this. They go, yes. I go, isn't it true under your bill, a 12-year-old and under can ride in the front seat if the back seat is filled with adults? And they looked at me and go, yes, that's true. I go, that's pretty stupid, you know? But this is the type of things that they do.
I'm glad I don't know. I'm glad I don't, if I was up there, I would have angina, or they, listening to me, would have angina. I want to thank you for all the stuff you're doing.
You're welcome. But if people are interested, just one last thing.
Yeah.
If they go to YouTube and they put Assemblyman Al Graf,
Yeah.
all of the videos will pop up and you can
Cool.
see what I'm fighting for. So thank you, Pam.
Oh, you are so welcome. Assemblyman Al Graf, put it on YouTube, take a look. This is only a part of what he's doing, and we're so grateful that he is taking care of us. Thank you, Al.
Thank you, Pam.